awfully sorry. I hope Mr. and Mrs. Whitney aren't furious with me.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Whitney are still upstairs in the room fast asleep. You know, they had a rough night here last night.
I do know. What happened was absolutely awful. When my mother read the headlines in this morning's paper, she nearly fainted. She didn't want me to come back here. That's why I was so late.
Oh?
Doesn't look any different, except for your mess.
Well, there are no reminders of what happened here because I took the time to put the place back in shape while you had the morning off. Only I didn't do a very good job of getting the bloodstains out.
Bloodstains?
Yeah, you're standing right on them. Why don't you see what you can do about that? First thing.
Me?
Sure. Try club soda. I heard somewhere that just might get the job done.
All right. I'll do my best.
Oh, listen, I want you to keep yourself available. I think the police are going to want to talk to you.
The police? What for?
Well, you got to admit that it's very interesting that the house gets robbed on your first night off.
That was just a coincidence. I'm glad I wasn't here.
Hey, look, you're standing on the bloodstains again. You know, someone just might get the idea that you were in cahoots with that burglar.
That's crazy. How can you even think such a thing?
Oh, come on, Chrissy. You can tell me.
Of course I wasn't. Well, Mr. Whitney didn't seem to mind that I took the night off.
What did you say?
When I asked him if I could take last night off instead of my regular day, he said it was okay. In fact, he insisted on it.
This is incredible, just incredible.
Guys, have you seen the paper yet?
No.
Look at this.
The picture?
No, but read the headline.
Sorry we're late. It seems like we had to wait forever for a bus.
Hey, Gunter, you seen this?
Hey, I thought I'd come in here, hear the music, see halfway through the opening number.
I don't believe this.
Come on, it's not a reading room. Break it up.
Did you see today's headline?
Yeah, I saw it.
Why didn't you tell me about this? Guy really actually shot and killed this man.
I'm sure it'll be great publicity for the Whitney Dance Company.
Hey, everybody, I got an idea. Why don't we come up with a dance number called The Burglar?
Yeah.
7, 8, and 1.
Oh, great. Oh, I love it. Okay, ready? Whoa. It's like 1, 2. Yeah, all right. Oh, baby.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. We are here to work. In case you've forgotten that. We have only a few more weeks until the opening of the company. And there isn't one of you that doesn't need to work, especially our star here.
Gavin, we've all been working very hard. We need to relax sometime.
We can relax after rehearsal. When you're here, you give me 110%. And since I've been here, you haven't broken a sweat. Now let's quit goofing all and get ready to work.
Well, whatever you say. I mean, after all, you are the boss now, aren't you?
Boss? What are you talking about? What do you mean, boss? We are here to create something together. And we need all the work we can get until the opening night. And that includes you, Star.
Okay, boss. Whatever you say, boss. I'll be right back. I'm going to get changed now, boss.
There we go. How's that?
Yeah, that's enough, Kelly.
A really
really glad that you felt well enough to see me, Geraldine.
No one I'd rather see.
Good. In that case, I can report back to Mike and Nancy and all the concerned people at WMON that you're looking just fine and you'll be out of here in no time.
I'm fortunate it wasn't worse.
You know, I couldn't believe it when I turned on the radio this morning to get the weather. Heard this news bulletin about an attempted burglary at the Whitney mansion. The fact that you were injured, you know, I was so stunned I shaved twice.
I'm grateful for your concern, Kelly, but I'm going to be just fine.
You know, if I hadn't come to the studio last night, you never would have gone to the Whitney mansion.
My dear, if you hadn't come to the studio when you did, I might have spent the whole night in that office trying to solve those budget problems.
I guess I'm just feeling bad seeing you laid up like this.
Well, for the record, I absolve you of all guilt. How's that?
Good. I'd still say, though, that it was a pretty high price to pay to have the luxury of breakfast in bed.
Hello, Geraldine.
Hi, hello, Kelly.
Chief Mallory?
The nurse on the floor said it'd be all right if I came by and talked to you a bit if you were feeling like it, but I didn't know you had company. Would you rather I came back later?
No, it's quite all right.
I'm on my way out anyway. Nice seeing you.
So long, Kelly.
Okay. Feel better.
I don't suppose I was really hiding these from you.
Oh, Derek, they're lovely. Thank you.
I spoke to Miles a little earlier. He said you're going to be just fine. I'm awfully relieved to hear that.
Yes. May I assume that your visit is something more than an expression of sympathy?
Geraldine, you're too smart for me. Yeah, I do have a couple of questions of an official nature.
Oh, dear, I'm afraid I'm going to disappoint you. You may know that I was struck from behind, and I never saw his face.
No, I realize that, but the homicide was committed last night. I've got to get statements from everybody, you understand?
I must say I was somewhat surprised that Schuyler had the presence of mind and the courage to take the action he did.
You saved Raven's life, I know.
Yes, and I'm very proud of him.
Well, look, there are a few points that you could help me on.
Well, I certainly cooperate in any way I can. What would you like to know?
The first is it occurred to me that it was awfully late for just a social visit last night. Why did you stop by the Whitney house?
Oh, it's a very simple reason, really. I was concerned about Raven. It can be very unsettling being in that house alone. I know from experience how empty it can feel.
I don't think you have to worry about Schuyler leaving Raven alone again.
My dear, I won't permit it. And I'm very proud of what Schuyler did. But I have every intention of giving him a very strong lecture about leaving Raven in that house alone.
Listen, you. Look, put me through to Mr. Weston right away. Yes, Johnny, what is it? Huh? No, I've never heard of the man before. Well, no, I'll take it, yes. Okay. This is Robert Weston. May I help you?
Yes, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk with me, Mr. Weston. My name is Gunther Wagner.
Well, I'm very pleased to talk to you, Mr. Wagner, but in case you'd like to place an order, I think maybe I'd better connect.
No,
I want to talk with you, Mr. Weston.
Oh? What company did you say you were with?
Well, I'm not affiliated with any company. I'm Mr. Schuyler Whitney's executive
Secretary, and I'm calling on his behalf.
Mr. Whitney, well, yes, of course, certainly.
Yes, well, I'm calling in reference to a meeting that you were to have with him this morning.
You are? Mr. Wagner, would you hold on for just 1 second, please? Thank you. Never forget something like that. Mr. Wagner, I'm afraid there's been some mistake. What do you mean?
Well, I was just going through my desk calendar, and I didn't have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Whitney this morning.
Are you sure, Mr. Weston?
Oh, I'm positive. Perhaps you just got your signals crossed, huh?
Now, you are Robert Weston, manager of...
On the machine, too.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, I'm Robert Weston, all right.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Well, let me get this straight. Now, you had no plans to meet with Mr. Whitney at all today?
Mr. Wagner, in all the years I've been running this plant, I've never had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Whitney, even though he does own the company. No.
Well, thank you, Mr. Weston. I'm very sorry to have bothered you. Have a nice day.
That's perfectly all right, Mr. Wagner. Thank you very much. Same to you.
Okay, tilt your head just a little to the... Carlo will be ready in a minute.
I'm ready when you are, Val. No, I'd say we'd need at least a day and a half for that shoot, Paul. Miss Duval's already booked for those dates. If you want to do it the week after, you've got her. Fine. I look forward to working with you again. See you.
Another job, Carlo?
Yes. Carlo Perfume is doing a spread for the Sunday papers, and they are convinced that no one looks as lovely next to a bottle of perfume as you, my dear.
I'm flattered.
You learned your lessons fast and well, Martine, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that you are becoming my most popular model.
I bet you say that to all your models. Right, Valérie? Well, I have heard him express those sentiments before. That's what I thought. But I must say, he's never sounded quite so convincing.
You see? I cherish every moment that you are in front of my camera. Smile, smile, smile.
Good morning. Oh, did I stop by at a bad time?
No, not really. It's just a little early. Unless our date was for breakfast rather than lunch.
I was over at Monticello General visiting my boss.
Mrs. Saxon's in the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Didn't you hear what happened last night?
Well, no.
There was an attempted burglary at the Whitney Mansion. Geraldine was roughed up.
Kelly,
You're kidding.
did you say that the Whitney Mansion was burglarized?
That's all over the front page.
I didn't even bother to look at it.
Well, what happened, Kelly?
Well, it seems like some guy got his hands on the keys to the mansion, let himself in, and terrorized Geraldine and Raven.
Yes, until Skylar Whitney arrived just in the nick of time and dispatched the burglar with both barrels of his shotgun.
Well, so Skylar Whitney is actually capable of using a gun.
Yes, considering the end result, this burglar wasn't too proficient at his chosen profession.
Don't you know, Carlo? All burglars are inept. Sooner or later, they all get caught.
Not all of them, Martine. Only the bad ones. There seems to be little point in Mr. McGrath going all the way over to the TV studio only to return in such a short while. So if you care to take an early lunch, Valerie, you have my best wishes.
Well, Carlo, didn't the Jorgensen people just call? Wanting those contact sheets this afternoon? I should be in the darkroom developing that film.
Go. Have lunch.
Well, I'll do it when I get back. We're just going down the street, so I won't be long. Goodbye. Have a good lunch.
Thank you.
Shall we get to work?
My sentiments exactly. They make a handsome couple, don't they?
Yes.
I bet you're wishing for them to have a mad love affair.
Love is a government plot designed to keep society in order. It's brilliant.
My, we are cynical, aren't we? This bitterness is only temporary, my dear. You're just feeling the effects of being burned by Skylar Whitney and then by Devin Wiley.
A little less analyzing, a little more picture-taking would be appreciated.
This isn't working. Stand up. Stand up. Reach here.
What do you think you're doing?
Relax now. Just relax.
Keep your distance.
I think I'll take care of those pictures.
not too early, are we?
No, you're the first customers. Where's Jody? Well, come sit.
Thanks, Father.
Thank you. Yep, okay. Do you know what you want, or do you want me to come back?
Oh, no, don't go away. We're having a short lunch.
Okay. Valerie, did you see the first picture in our celebrity corner? Oh, hey, that's a nice one. Yeah, I think it's a terrific picture of Gavin. Did you happen to take it? I can't take credit for it. My boss, Mr. Crown, took it. Oh. Listen, do you think I could ask you for a favor? Well, sure. What can I do for you? Well, could you give me a copy of that picture? I'd really appreciate it. If it costs anything, I'll pay you back. Oh, hey, don't worry about it. We'll have a negative in our files. Give me a day or two. I'll see what I can do. Great.
Well, I'm all set to order. How about you, Val?
Yes. I would like a cup of tomato soup, tuna on whole wheat, and coffee with the sandwich.
Now I have a fruit cup, a Sid steak burger, medium rare, and a glass of water.
Okay. Soup sandwich, steak burger coming up.
Right.
Thanks. I wonder why Bobby wants a picture of Gavin.
I got a hunch that Bobby would like to start a celebrity corner of her own.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Well, so what did Mr. and Mrs. Carr say about the news about Mrs. Saxon?
Oh, well, Nancy heard about it the same time that I did. She was upset. So was Mike, I guess, but I didn't see him. He left early. He left early so he could check on those mysterious numbers in your father's letter.
What do you mean?
Well, as you know, they're 6 hours later in Europe. So he wanted to get a jump on it, contact Draper Scott, and relay the information to the investigating team he's heading.
Well, what are they going to do with it?
Mike wants Draper to check every bank in Switzerland. He's still convinced that that date in your father's letter is a Swiss bank account in disguise.
You know, I am beginning to wish that I never mentioned anything about that letter.
Why?
Because the last thing I need right now is more bad publicity about my father. He's gone. Why can't they just let him rest in peace?
Sit down. What can I do for you?
Oh, a beer would be nice.
One tall, cold one coming right up.
You knew my old pal, Romeo, didn't you?
Well, I know a lot of people, buddy.
Well, listen, Larry Morgan told me that this place was Romeo's second home. I mean, I know he wasn't exactly a wallflower, so I figured you two might be acquainted.
You know Larry, huh?
Yeah, we've had some good times together.
Hey, any friend of Larry's is a friend of... Yeah, Romeo used to like this place, all right. See that table over there, number 4? That used to be his favorite. He used to sit there for hours just checking all those beautiful chicks. He was some operator, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he must have been some good customer. I'll bet you're very sorry he's been off tonight.
Buddy, I could take Slade or leave. Now, what I'm mourning is the $50 bill that he ran up before he got blown away. I don't think he mentioned me in his will.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do for you. Just to prove how good of buddies that Romeo and I was, I'm going to take care of his tab for him.
That's very, very generous, my friend. Very generous. Thank you.
You know, my pal Romeo may be dead, but I don't want him to check out of this world like some kind of deadbeat.
Hey, buddy, anytime you would like to open up an account here, all you got to do is say the word.
Yeah, listen, I just might do that. You know, I heard that Romeo had a lot of good pals here, like Sammy Wheaton.
Well, yes, Sammy used to show his face around here from time to time. When he wasn't doing time from one of his penny ante scams, that is.
You know this guy?
Nah, that guy's a stranger.
No. Take a good, long look.
Yeah, but I'm not good at remembering faces. Hey, you know, come to think of it, this guy does look familiar.
Then you think he's been in here?
No. But you know, Romeo did have a little confab with number 4 the other night. And this dude was wearing dark glasses, and I think it could have been him.
Dark glasses?
Yeah. Hey, you know, I gotta run down and get some booze there. Why don't you stay right here? When I come back, I'm going to freshen that up for you on the house. How does that drive you, huh?
Hey, listen, thanks a lot, huh?
Oh, man, it's nothing.
Yeah. I just bet you were the guy, Mr. Whitney.